Hey guys, it's Doug Vinyl again here, and record time, and hear music in the background as it fades out. I'm going to do a show today. This is a different style I'm going to do today. Today is going to be a memorial of bands that we would love to see, but we will never see again because they are no longer with us. A memorial show, and I thought it'd be a good idea. And it's a dreary day on Sunday. It's like it's yucky out, so it kind of came up with this idea. I was talking to my cousin Chris, and he and I kind of chit chat about it a little bit the other day on the phone. I thought, yeah, it's a good idea, you know. And I was looking at a couple of albums, one of my favorite bands, which I'll want to get to, I'll mention, that aren't with us. And actually, all the members are dead. And it's like, wow, some of them are not. But the criteria of this particular countdown show here is I'm doing 10 albums, and I'm going to do it alphabetical, like I did last time when I did chronological. I mean, I'm not going to compare these bands. I mean, it'd be pointless. It really is. I mean, it's like, they're so different. But they are bands that, without the key member, sometimes it's a front man, sometimes it's a specific person, they're just not the same anymore. And I think the importance is that we need to look at them and say their influence and then say what happened and why we're just, you know, there have been incarnations of the bands later on, one of them at least, and I'll talk a little bit about that when I get to it, but it's not the same without the certain chemistry of that specific band. Again, there are other bands that go on, like The Who after the death of Keith Moon and what have you, and you know, but I'm not going to talk about that. But these bands, they never tried to recreate the element of the original band. So we're going to talk about them, and you know, some of them are very obvious, and then some of them aren't so obvious. So let's start off with the top 10 here. All right. Again, not any specific order, and there are others, I'm sure, but this is just kind of what is from my personal record collection here, and just kind of, you know, bands I really like. There are others, of course, and they may do a follow-up on this, and another 10 here and there. But I thought I'd start out with this idea. Chris and I kind of bounced it off each other, so I thought it was a pretty good idea. So let's get to the first one. Of course, the first one's easy. I'm going to go alphanumerical, and the first one, of course, is the Beatles. The Beatles are no longer with us, obviously. It's been a long time. Any fantasy of a reforming of the band died in 1981 when John Lennon was shot, of course, many, many, many years ago. This is just, you know, of course, the chemistry of the Fab Four, and we know all about them. The album I picked here is Rubber Soul. A little side note. This is the UK first press. It's a mono pressing, as you can see right here. It says mono, so really cool, kind of cool there. The pound note on the bottom. It's just really cool. But what's cool about it is that they were cheap back in the 60s. It was really, look at it, it's a gloss cover, right? It's a nice picture, it's all gloss, but in the back, the gloss ends over here, and then this is like cheap paper, and it's like all like flat coated. It's kind of cool. It just kind of shows you. It's really flimsy too. It's like, but interesting. Interesting stuff, though. But again, the Beatles, of course, with the passing, the only two left are, of course, McCartney and Ringo. George Harrison passed away a while ago, and of course, John Lennon was shot in 1981. So the really an end of an era, and of course, very important, nevertheless. So that one was pretty obvious. The next band I'm going to do, some of you may or may not like. I know they have a bad reputation because of their disco years, but they have a long career, and I do like their early stuff. I really do. Don't get me wrong. And I like this band. It's one of my guilty pleasures, I guess you could call it. Before I get into them, I'm going to talk about in a second, and some of you people may like them, and some people may actually like them but not admit it because they are that kind of band. The band I'm talking about, of course, is the Bee Gees. This is 2 years on, 1970. Great album. That's really cool. This is the pre-disco years of Maurice, Barry, and Robin. Okay, there you go. That's, you know, and they have some great songs on this. This has Lonely Days on it. Lonely days, lonely nights. What do I do without my woman? Great song. I want to get into it. Obviously, I'm not Barry Gibb, but the point is that with us, only one left is, of course, Barry. Maurice and Robin died some years ago. This was great. The Bee Gees put out a lot of good songs, good hits in the late 60s, early 70s. It's just one of those older bands people just forget about. But again, we're never going to see the Bee Gees again. I think their last memorial tour was like 1999, 1998. Pretty cool. They have a live album and everything. It was pretty cool. And that was it. And shortly after that, I believe Robin died and then Maurice. But sad but true. But again, the Bee Gees. I guess that I put it out there. Okay, the next band we're not going to see is more recent, is Sad, Boston band. Of course, we're talking about the Cars. Rick Ocasek's passing, when was it, last year, 2 years ago? Sad. So now, from this cover back here, which is so cool. Like, again, that's why I love vinyl. You got a big vinyl here. We not only lost Rick Ocasek, but Benjamin Orr died many years ago, too. So you're really never going to get the dynamics of the band again. The band never did get back together after they broke up, and that was it. And Benjamin Orr's death, and with Rick Ocasek, I mean, there's very few members left, and obviously there's going to be no revitalization. So this is another band that some of us have seen. I know my cousin Chris saw them. I saw them once, too, many, many years ago. I don't like to speak ill of people that are around anymore. It wasn't the greatest show. I mean, the music was good, and it was competently played, but not the liveliest crew. And Chris, my cousin, will tell you the same thing. It's kind of like, okay, puppets. My best friend's girlfriend. Yeah, that kind of thing, you know. So my point is that we won't see the Cars again. And it's sad because of the discography of their music. Some great stuff. So there you go. Big one. All right, the next one is a big one. And I started out with the music, of course. And the next one I'm going to be talking about is, of course, the passing of Joe Strummer. And, of course, we are never, ever going to see The Clash. This is Sandinista. Great triple album. I don't need to get into the awesomeness of this album, but I mean, it's just like, seriously, look at that. When Joe Strummer died, we just, you're really not going to have, and the Clash broke up anyways. Not that they were ever going to come back together as a band, as we thought, but I think that it would have been nice, but it never happened. But yeah, now with Joe Strummer gone, we're not going to see the Clash, and this is a hidden gem and an era of music that's not gone. But of course, we got Magnificent Seven, which I opened with, Virgin of the City, Losing the Skin, Charlie Don't Surf. I mean, there's so many good songs on this album. I don't even have to complete my bag. Midnight Luck, Rebel Waltz, Corner Soul, and then of course all the literature that came with it. Just great stuff. Great stuff. Again, this is a UK first press, which is cool because the UK first press comes with they did it like a giant envelope that you put the albums in because of course it's a Teresa that album. So cool stuff. Very well worth it. Okay, another band we're not going to see, and they did play a reunion tour back before the last two members died, and of course I'm talking about Cream. The last member left is Eric Clapton. We know that we lost Jack Bruce a while ago, and Ginger Baker. Both have been passed away, so we are not going to see I'm So Glad and Badge and all the fun stuff. Of course, appropriately, I picked a Goodbye Cream, and sad to say, they did play a couple of reunion stuff, but we're never going to see them again, and it's sad, but this is a memorial to the great music that Cream put out, and really can't be understated. Okay, again, alphabetical, and most of you will know, and if you know me personally, know this is my favorite band. This is an incarnation of my favorite band in 1985, and of course what I'm talking about is Emerson, Lake and Powell. Okay, some of you might not even heard of these people. It says, isn't that Emerson, Lake and Palmer? Yes, well, Carl Palmer is still with us, but all three of these members are dead. This was Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, and Cozy Powell. Cozy Powell died in 1996, car accident. Greg Lake and Keith Emerson died in 2016. So all three of these members have passed away, so you're never going to hear this album or this music ever again. Now, possibly a Carl Palmer tribute ELP band may, but I doubt they'll play this music because he wasn't part of this band. He was in Asia at the time. So again, this really deadens the stop on this, that this band, since all three members are not with us anymore. Okay, thought I'd slip that in there. Now, our next band, or I should say personality, died in the early 80s, and of course, some of my favorite music. I mean, really, the most romantic music. You get into Date and Doo-Doo-Doo, and we're talking, of course, Marvin Gaye. Of course, Marvin Gaye died a little bit after this album, Midnight Love, and of course, he died a tragic way. We all know that, and I mean, just a great piece of work by Marvin Gaye, and it's really, if you look at his career, it spanned the 60s of Motown, and, heard it through the grapevine to Let's Get It On to Sexual Healing, and I mean, the amount of music this man put out was quite a bit, and it really is so many good stuff. Those are just big hits. Other songs like Midnight Lady, The Love Is Waiting, Third World Girl, Joy. There's so many good songs on this album and his other stuff. Just a really career. Sad the tragic that we'll never see Marvin Gaye, and people that would, fortunate enough to see him live, which would be really, just amazing. So, cool stuff. So, again, we don't have a Marvin Gaye. Now, the next member is one I featured on my second show, I believe. Of course, that is, the great music of Robert Palmer. Robert Palmer died a while ago, and we do not have his band and music. It's just, we're not going to see it again. And tragic enough, he was in a band called Power Station 2 with Duran Duran member Taylor and others. We won't see Robert Palmer again, of course, and again, tragic ending and tragic life, but great music. Great music. I mean, it's still probably my favorite album by him, as you know, when I did my countdown. But again, definitely Robert Palmer. Now, the next band we're going to do is I did see last year. I did see the band. I saw two of the surviving members. The third bass player, John Deacon, wasn't there, but it was Adam Lambert. It was more of I felt like it was more of a tribute band with Brian May and Roger Taylor just playing. And, of course, the band I'm talking about, as you all know those names, is, of course, Queen. This is their debut album, by the way, 1973. You're not going to see them again. And to me, it's Freddie Mercury was a big part of their sound and their music and their frontman and what have you. And Brian may be the first to say it. They tried a little thing with what's his name? Paul Rogers from Bad Company. Didn't do so well. Cool album, by the way. See, I love that. But again, we're not going to see them again. And the Queen we see now is a tribute. I mean, it's due more to the fact that movie Bohemian Rhapsody came out a year or two ago, and people kind of followed up with that, and then the band figured, it was a good way to making some money to follow up, and of course Adam Lambert's career helped him. But again, it's not the same, and not the same at all. So, I mean, just kind of that kind of thing. Now, the last one I'm going to do is one of my personal favorites. He's been dead for quite some time now, since prostate cancer took him away from us. Controversial, a lot of people don't like him, but of course the man I'm talking about, the great philosopher of rock and roll, Frank Zappa. All right, this is Hot Rats, one of my favorite albums. I mean, just look at this. Oh my God, Frankie, baby, at his peak. Peaches and Regalia. Do. Won't even get into Why Does It Hurt When I Pee, or all those other cool songs that he played. Zappa, what can I say? Multi-influence, Captain Beefheart, The Mothers, all the great music that he produced in the 60s and 70s. Influential. You think of some of the great musicians that we know today, they played in the Frank Zappa band. This man had the eye for talent. If you were a good guitarist, a good drummer, I mean, I can name them. Vinnie Colaiuta, Terry Bozzio, Arthur Barrow, oh my God, Warren Cucurullo, Steve Vai. Do I need to go on more? There's many, many more. They all played with Frank Zappa. Ainsley Dunbar, of course, I mentioned him in the Journey run. All these people played with Frank Zappa. This man really changed music, and interesting stuff. You may not like his music, but his influence is definitely solely felt, and it's solely lacking, and he's not with us today. All right, so that's my countdown, alphabetical, for the top 10. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Please subscribe. Give me a like. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm sure I missed many. I mean, even probably a couple in here, too. Again, my collection isn't comprehensive. I mean, I have a lot of vinyl, yes. Couple, 400 or 500 albums, but I don't have everything. So, again, this is just the beginning, and it's a good idea, theme show that my cousin and I kind of brainstormed. I may hit it again with some other ideas, but tell me what you think. And I hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe. I know the times are not so great right now, so, hopefully things will be getting better, as the Beatles would say. Getting better all the time. All right, I'm signing off. I'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.